Hey YouTube, here with a quick video. I've got the Canon EOS R6. My pre-order came in today. Lucky me. A lot of people on the waiting list for this camera, and I was really lucky to get a call today and it came in, so I can't wait to shoot with this. I had to buy this myself. I'm not a Canon ambassador. I'm not even a Canon Boy Scout, so this is my hard-earned money right here. I wanted to improve this channel. I wanted to improve my photography, and this is still not going to be a gear channel, but this is my gear now, and I want to show you what I do with it. Why not teach this camera along with it? Initially picking it up, it's really lightweight compared to the 6D. The 6D feels like a tank. It's definitely got a heft on your wrist and your arm, and I've carried the 6D for hours on end, and it does weigh on you. Your shoulder will ache and hurt. This picked up very light. The downside with that, I think, is that the build quality feels really cheap. The plastic has this cheap texture to it. It feels very thin and flimsy. Like if you dropped it, it would probably break. I'm sure it won't, but the 6D Mark I is built like a tank. Not that I've dropped it, but you could just tell that this thing could survive, you know, being run over by a car, and it'll just keep running. This one, I'm not so sure. This is going to make a serious difference in the long term, carrying this around for travel and weddings and things like that. So switching to mirrorless, you know, the buttons are in a slightly different place. The screen is slightly different. Unfortunately, the entire country is sold out of RF lenses and RF adapters. So it's on the way, but I don't have anything I can even shoot with this yet. So all I can do is turn it on and play with the menus, but let's just chat about that for now. The next impression was that looking at the back of the camera and just putting my fingers and hands in the familiar spots. It's significantly shorter than the 6D Mark I. All the buttons are smaller and everything's more concentrated on the smaller body. So I found myself having to kind of, where I would normally stretch my hand, I'm kind of like bringing it back down to find the buttons, which should be better in the end. Quicker, shorter movements to do the same thing. Not sure why, but they moved the menu and the preview button, and it's kind of annoying. I'm going to have to train my fingers to find those spots because muscle memory built in just goes to the right spot. Initially, I was really missing the directional pad that goes on the middle of the spin wheel, but then I realized the screen is a touch screen, so I can see why they left it out. They don't want people scrolling around with that pad if you can just touch the screen where you want it. So I do miss it, but I think I'm just going to end up touching the screen a lot more, which is nice. As well, there is the directional pad at the top, which is a new addition. But again, I prefer it on the scroll wheel because your hand is already in that spot. You can do two functions at once. Now I have to go to two different places. The flip screen is a huge bonus. I can't wait to play with this feature while shooting all kinds of creative angles. But what really threw me off is the display portion of the screen is actually not the full screen. There's a significant border around it, not being used at all. It still measures about 3 inches, but it's kind of disappointing that we know we have edge-to-edge technology on LCD screens, so I'm not sure why they didn't do that. It just looks like a cop-out. Along with the cheapness feel, not having a screen on top, I didn't realize how much I think I was going to miss it. I looked at my 6D and I realized that it has a screen on top to tell you all of these nice features. So to go to an elevated R6, I actually feel like it's a downgrade not having it. So they kind of cheaped out there. When you plug the battery in and you initially go to turn it on, the battery is drained completely. So you have to go charge it up. So it's not usable out of the box. But luckily I had some batteries lying around for the 6D Mark I that plugged in perfectly well. And I tried, the cameras are swappable from R6 to 6D, which is really nice. So I've got a new battery, I've got a new charger, and that's pretty much all that's useful that came with the camera in the box. The only other thing they give you is this neck strap, but I don't know anybody who holds their camera like this. You know, you're walking and it's bobbing around and you can't lean over and do anything. It's really kind of silly why they would even put this in the box. The box itself is not really worth talking about, but I just wanted to mention that while I was carrying this to the car, The box is so cheap. I actually thought that the camera was going to fall through the bottom. I was actually worried carrying it, so I had like 2 hands underneath. So, you know, if you're going to charge this much money for a piece of equipment, put it in a proper box. Like, I don't understand. Well, packaging aside, that's not why I bought the camera. I bought it for the performance. I know that it's going to do a lot more than the things I talked about in this video, so I'm not concerned. I just thought I'd share some initial thoughts, initial impressions, just opening this up. Guys, if you're interested in buying the R6 and you're switching from DSLR to mirrorless, stay tuned to this channel because I want to give impressions on my first shoot, my first week, my first month, and throughout the videos that I'm going to make, really centered around switching to the R6. What do I experience? What do I find are improvements and things like that? If you enjoyed this and learned something, please hit like and subscribe. Visit demaninphotography.com or my Instagram for even more info. Bye for now.